Are you a U.S. veteran struggling with your VA claims? Feeling like you'll never get the ratings you deserve? In this video, I'm going to share with you a crazy story about how this man got medically retired in 2 months. Stick around to find out how it happened and whether I think it's legit. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and share this video. Let's inspire more veterans to fight for the ratings we've earned. When I found this video, man, I was real curious, man, because I wanted to see how he did it. And I also wanted to share with other people so it can motivate y'all and inspire other veterans to get out there and get to these ratings, man. So yeah, man, let's see what this dude did.
Of this video recording because what you see now is representative of our day to day and what the house looks like. But in future, I will try to have a cleaner house for recording purposes. Anyways, on to the main topic of today's video, which is where I've been for the past 6 months. So let's get started.
The last time many of you saw me was 6 months ago when I made videos in Fort Benning Recovery Center, aka COVID camp. Right about now is the correct timing for me to be uploading a video celebrating completion of AIT, and that's just how long it's been since my last update. Unfortunately, though, it was not meant to be, as I received a medical discharge, not from basic training, but from basic training reception.
Yo, reception is where you go before you get the basic training, bro. How you get bro, how you medically retire out of reception? Hold on. All right, hold on.
I like to think
Hold
it
on,
makes
bro.
the
I don't believe this shit. I don't believe this shit. Hold on. We gotta go back. Let me hear this man
Now
again.
is representative of
not from basic training, but from basic training reception at the 30th AG in Fort Benning. This video is not going to be a slam piece.
Yo, bro. Bro, he really said that, bro. This man medically retired out of reception, bro. Okay.
On the inner workings of the 30th AG, especially Alpha Company, because what happens at the 30th AG is not at all representative of what happens in basic and once you graduate, because the experience gets better. However, joining the Army and shipping to Fort Benning in the past 2 years had to have been amongst the worst peacetime periods to join the Army. And I like to think it makes the men mentally stronger, or at the very least, better conditioned against nonsense. I am thankful for the words of encouragement and all the support for the videos I made in quarantine. I do hope that many of those from 503 Alpha Oscar at the 30th AG took the time after their training to check in. The men I lived and worked alongside were often more than 10 years younger than me, but possessed much more patience and mental toughness.
Man,
It was
what
a
is he
humbling
talking about,
experience
bro?
to
All right.
work alongside them. The real one, you see, like, you had to write down the
All right,
team
what is he
at
talking
Fort
about?
Benning. And why I decided to enlist, I also should explain instead of commissioning.
All right, we not talking about why he
But,
enlisting.
and this is advice for anyone, you should at least speak with a recruiter because you never know ship is still worth defending and fighting for.
Man, shout out to this man, man.
Or
We about
assignments.
to get to the meat and potato.
Even if I measure too high on my console, this wave will vary by line number, but I got less and among the most physically fit. I acted as a source of career and I stand by.
Let's see what we're talking about.
Filling up the time between appointments, you build camaraderie with the men around you. We were in a bay of about 70, 90% of which were also 18 X-ray. Many of the men came from similar backgrounds like me, where they left their comfortable day jobs to heed the call of duty. I was the oldest among us and among the most physically fit. I acted as a source of career and life advice, and I'd like to think that I succeeded in motivating those around me.
He was the most
We had around
fit,
5
too.
additional specialists in our bay, and as many others who were married. One experience with this group that sticks out in my mind was when we were so enthusiastic to clean the bay to pass inspection.
All right, man.
Imagine
What the hell this got to do with
could
it?
order Domino's.
Let's see.
The drill sergeants couldn't smoke us, but they did anything but.
Let's see if
The
we can
bag
get to
dump
the.
had missed 2 ship dates. And one always has it worse. At this point, my army experience took an even less fortunate turn than the setback of having to quarantine. I hadn't mentioned this, but throughout everything I had already written about earlier, during most of my time at Fort Benning, my feet and ankles gave me problems. On the first day we had to turn in our civilian clothes, I wore the horrible army issued running shoes to pair with PT uniforms. For me to train in these shoes would invite disaster.
You do get some shoes like that. You know what I'm saying? You got options, but you do get something like that.
The shoes were stiff with almost no cushioning to speak of and did not fit my feet well. After the first day of standing in line waiting for appointments, I developed throbbing pains all along my left foot and leg. Coming into the army, although I had excellent cardiovascular fitness, I had some orthopedic disadvantages that included flatter feet and heel spurs. But I overcame those wearing either Brooks or Asics motion controller stability shoes. I did get refitted for the shoes to the widest size they had available, but I still felt extreme pain wearing them more than just exercise induced shin splints. I have enough athletic experience to know the difference between the threshold of experienced pain and soreness associated with regular exercise or pain that indicates an injury if I proceed. My boots felt fine, and I wore my OCPs as often as I could so I could avoid wearing the running shoes. I even ran a practice ACFT in boots. I spent most of my time in quarantine in OCPs when outside of my room. I felt I could do everything I needed to do for soldiering when in boots, but the running shoes were a whole different animal. They pay me when even doing basic formation practice, dress, cover, etc. Just standing in parade rest challenged me harder than even doing squats. The 30th AG, I couldn't get out of wearing PTs like I could at FBRC. Even while at FBRC, I knew I might have to go to sick call about getting a profile to get my personal running shoes back. I had spoken to one of the 68 whiskey permanent parties at FBRC for ideas on how to proceed. But it was ultimately a coin flip based on the NCOs at the 30th AG and drill sergeants once you actually started basic, whether they would let you ship the basic without the issued shoes. It is even stricter when it comes to the 18 X-ray MOS. You have to show that you can do what is asked with the issued equipment. It is difficult to understate the poor quality of the Army issued shoes, as some trainees would break their shoes in red phase or even before they shipped basic. The soles would peel or the shoes would get holes in them. I tried to use nail clippers to cut a hole in my shoes to get the chance to use my personal shoes, but Alpha Company drill sergeant
18 X-ray, ain't that like an operator or something? Yeah, so like 18 X-ray, that's like you trying to go special forces, like an operator or something. You know what I'm saying? Boom, that's 18 X-ray. So maybe that's what he was going for.
were strict about personal gear and sent trainees to get reissued shoes if their issued shoes blew out. There are rare examples of trainees who could get their personal shoes for the remainder of red phase, but regardless of your drill sergeants, you would get personal shoes starting in white phase. I went to sick call again and got another MRE. I should start an MRE counter on this video. I explained to the nurse and the physician's assistant what bothered me. They took one look at my feet and decided, yeah, you're done here. I had apparently what was hallux valgus or a bunion on my left foot. And that's what was causing me so much problem with my shoes. A bunion is a foot deformity that shouldn't have allowed me to pass MEPS in the first place. The bunion had
Yo, this shit ain't funny, yo. But it ain't funny, yo. But I say all that to say, like, yo, it's possible, man. It is possible. Like, you could get your ratings, man. You could get them ratings, man, because like you could get them ratings, and it's like, man, it's cases out there where people literally go through basic training, not even go through basic training for real, and they leaving with shit. They leaving medically retired. They leaving medically retired. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's not funny because it's a lot of people out there that don't got the ratings they deserve. You know what I mean? That deserve to have those ratings. You know, that's way worse condition than a bunion. You know what I mean? But you know, for people that might still be in the military, you know what I'm saying? This could be information that might be useful to you. And if you out, I hope this motivate and inspire somebody to continue to go out there. Don't give up, you know what I'm saying? Because there's people out here, you know what I'm saying, that not to discredit what he got going on at all. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their issues and you can't fake an x-ray, you know what I'm saying? And all disabilities don't gotta be all disabilities don't gotta be major. You know what I'm saying? They don't gotta be major. You know what I'm saying? It's just you just gotta understand the regulations and stuff that's out there, man, and how the ratings work. So that's crazy. A bunion?
Never given me issues earlier in life because I could always wear shoes that fit my foot profile, to the extent that I didn't even know what a bunion was. At that point, getting my personal
Man, hey. You don't know what a bunion is. Alright. I don't know. Hey man. I don't know. What y'all think about that, man?
shoes back so I could continue
How old was y'all when y'all realized what a bunion was?
training was a moot point, as I had a condition that disqualified me for service. In 6 months, I could be eligible to re enlist if I disclosed the condition at MEPS and they granted me a waiver. But for now, the EPTS Chapter 511 separation was initiated then, and it sealed my fate. I waited the rest of the day to have my DA 4707 completed and sent to Dr. Hines for signature. I'm certain that many soldiers have completed training with bunions, as they often don't give many issues earlier in life because of shoe sizing. And I had wanted to at least try, but I doubt, based on the level of pain I experienced.
Man, I had bunions when I went in the army, man. I had bunions when I went in the army, man. Was I supposed to get ready for them? You know what I'm saying? When I went on a ruck, man, I had them army standard boots on, and the bottom of my feet coming off, man. My feet, man, had calluses, man. My feet messed up ever since basic training because of that, man. So, man, bunion.
Even at the 30th AG, that I would have made it through red phase using the issued shoes. It pained me even to walk from Alpha Company to the Chow Hall and stand in parade rest waiting my turn. On a side note, part of your training at the 30th
Instead of
AG is to
parade
recognize
rest.
that everything
You
about your
heard me.
day to day in the
For
Army
real.
is an ingrained routine. Even lining up for
Hey,
chow.
for real.
Last four, get door, move, private, move, still resonates inside my head. It's likely that if I enlisted into any other MOS and went to any other base for training, I would have gotten the chance to plead my case and start basic training with my personal running shoes. But infantry school
This
is
is
a whole
crazy,
nother
yo.
animal.
You can't slight nobody disabilities though, for real, man. You gotta respect it, man. And I hope somebody watch this. I hope somebody listening to this real good because it's possible.
I would leave Army service without even lifting an ammo can or running an obstacle course. As I was to be removed from training, I was now allowed to wear the shoes I brought with me from home. I went back to the 30th AG as a holdover, awaiting the transition into RA2, or the return home unit. There's not much more to say about being a holdover that I haven't already mentioned. It's more closely described.
Oh, so he was a holdover. Okay, so he was a holdover or whatever too. Yeah, but he was a holdover in reception. Did he go to reception because he was a holdover? How that work?
As being paid to stay in a minimum security prison. In addition to regular 11
Business owners competing.
Bravo or 18 extra MOS that missed their ship dates, some 11 Charlie Mortarmen, 19 Delta Cav Scout, or 19 Kilo armor crewmen stayed in the holdover bay with us, as they have fewer shipping dates available, and generally stayed in holdover longer than 11 Bravo, as 11 Bravo have a ship to basic day every week. I did a lot of fire guard and CQ desk duty to fill in time in between chow times. I even got, compared to being at FBRC, we did bay workouts that involved some staff duty, which was to help shepherd the day zero
So like pretty much he just explaining the stuff that he had to deal with in the military that that either caused his disability or uh aggravated his disability when he came in. Most of the stuff that you can claim, some of the stuff that you can claim don't have to be because of the military service. Like, yes, the service connected has to be service related, but it can also be aggravated due to military service. You know what I'm saying? So apparently he had a bunion. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to go to basic, maybe couldn't take it. You know what I'm saying? Standing up them long periods of times, being at parade rest, marching, running, wearing boots all the time.
Rose through the 30th AG to their various appointments. It took a lot for me to stay emotionally together. There's not much you could do to pass the time compared to being an FBRC.
But we going we
Bunk with
gonna
me
see
that
what
I
he
wasn't
talking about.
shipping and that he couldn't bunk with me. And Rera had to sign our RHU packets as part of the Chapter 511 process. When he got to me, he asked, "Why are you here?" I replied, "Serve my country, sir." He then asked, "Why infantry?" I replied, "Sir, my alliance scores were excellent and I could have selected any MOS available, but I wanted to challenge and opportunities provided by 18 X-ray, sir."
That boy who? That boy who? Hey man. Hey shit. Hey, some people, bro, when you join the military, you trying to go all the way.
He then
Shit.
said, "You're not close to 18 X-ray. You could have a far better career than what we have here. You're selling yourself short, man." Finally, after 12 days of being a holdover at the 30th AG, I got the call to move to RHU. 12 calendar days is fast for a discharge. Processing was expedited because many of the NCOs
12 days of discharge. Shit, he won't even really in for
at
real.
Alpha Company were
Won't even really in.
already under scrutiny for having so many trainees miss their assigned ship dates. The experience with the NCOs was night and day before and after I was in quarantines. The NCOs had a lackadaisical attitude, but developed an extreme sense of urgency, especially for the trainees that needed alibis for appointments. We got another MRE before heading to
Bro,
RHU,
what is he talking
writing
about, bro?
workshops, and what were you prioritizing? I was a civilian again.
What is he talking about?
Make sure no one went AWOL. I had to make a towel fort every night in my bunk to block the light from the bathroom. After 7 days at RHU, I got to the airport, and that was that. I was a civilian again. One other trainee had the same flight I did. He actually had gotten as far as black base, but some pre-existing spine problems caught up with him. My wife and I gave him a ride home once we landed in Baltimore. My first fast food meal back home was Waffle House, and I really appreciate that. Harry, is to be honest with yourself about your intentions for joining the Army. You like PT? How well do you think you'll like it after? Just 4 days before I shipped to Fort Benning, I got an email saying I take PT test at the 30th. None attitude and goals of life after the Army. Be honest with yourself about your fitness background. It was clear in my original bay of 18 X-ray who were the trainees that joined because their recruiter get you the job that you want. If it isn't available, wait. Will make more sense. Yes, you're not supposed to join the Army for enjoyment or to alleviate boredom because plenty of boredom will follow. However, no one should have needed to put up with the unnecessary measures of the last 2 years, and as mentioned earlier, it's likely that the men training through it became better conditioned against nonsense and gained mental toughness. I'd like to think we went through it so that
Man, so I guess that's it. Man, he got discharged. He got discharged out of reception. It ain't funny though, but man, it's possible, man. It's possible. Yeah, man. I hope it inspires somebody, man. I hope it inspires somebody out there. I hope it motivates somebody out there to go out there, man. Fight for them ratings, man. Cause we earned it. We earned it. Man, thanks for tuning in, man. I'm Dtris.